everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Wednesday, only here on Oldies and More Radio, also broadcasting live on YouTube. The video, I want to welcome you to the All 60s edition. It's the April 19th, 2023 All 60s show. Sit back for the next 3 hours. Got some cool 45s out of my collection from the 1960s Soul 45s. We opened up tonight's 60s show with a special request for listener Jeff K. Jeff K. He requested this pianist, songwriter, singer, and arranger from Brooklyn, New York, born Elbert Adolphus Mahan, but he's known professionally as Bert Keys. And in 1953, label owner George Goldner appointed him A&R director, music director, and arranger for his new Rama record label. And he's credited to writing over 120 compositions, but he didn't write this tune. This one from December 1964 on the Clock label, with some girls in the background there. I don't know who they may have been, but it's Do Baha is the name of that one. Was requested by Jeff K, number 32 on Billboard, a big number 8 record on WWDC in Washington, D.C. And it's unfortunate he passed away on July 21st, 1987 at the young age of 56, but we remember him here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Our opener, December 64, Bert Keys and his orchestra and chorus on the Clock label for Jeff K. Do Baha is the name of that one. Well, let's Baha into the next 45 here. So we open up the vocal portion here with this duet out of Alabama. They were Peggy Stoutmeyer and Joseph M. Hewell, and we just lost this gal, Peggy, on March 27, 2023. They recorded as Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson. I closed the show last week, if you recall, with their 6th release, 6 of 7 on Shelby Singleton's SSS International label. It was called Let's Spend a Day Out in the Country. Well, this is their debut single, and it is my favorite. Number 31 on Billboard, 22 on Cashbox, number 5 on the R&B, and number 1 on WJIM in Lansing, Michigan, and also WIGO in Atlanta, if you were tuned in, and WJDY in Salisbury, Maryland, and one more, WHAT in Philadelphia. This is my favorite tune by them. March 68, Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson on the SSS International label. It's called Lover's Holiday.
Friday night, what's gonna happen, Joe?
Yeah, we open up the vocal portion there with Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson. Their debut single, their biggest hit from March 1968 on SSS International, Lovers Holiday is the name of that tune here. Now, I have no information on this next group, but they are singing about a dance that was popular in the mid-1960s. Now, it's an early production by Bob Krasnow. Krasnow, that's how you pronounce it. Bob Krasnow, who subsequently would be the executive revitalizing Elektra Records in the 1980s. But in the early 60s, he began a promotion. He was a promotion man for James Brown and a sales rep for Decca Records. He ran the King Record Branch office out in San Francisco, California between 1958 and 1964 before moving to Warner Brothers Records, mainly their subsidiary Loma label, where he headed that label between 1964 and 68, which brings us to this 45 by Clyde and the Blue Jays. This charted number 18 on WAEB in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Let's go to September 1964 for Clyde and the Blue Jays on the Loma label. It's called The Big Jerk.
Listen to the music, it's got a different key, yeah. Don't you feel the music sending a message to your feet that a new dance is on the scene? Come on the floor and see what I mean. Girl, I'm waiting. Girl, I'm waiting. Don't keep me waiting. Don't keep me waiting. Let's do the jerk. Yeah. Let's do the jerk. Baby. Let's do the jerk. Once you start, you wouldn't stop if you could. No, baby. It'll start to hurting so good. Yeah. Now I know you got what it takes. I wanna see you shiver and shake. Girl, I'm waiting. Girl, I'm waiting. Don't keep me waiting. Don't keep me waiting. Let's do the jerk. Do the jerk with me, pretty baby. Do the jerk with me. Everybody's going, come on, wave your arms and hop like a bunny. When you wiggle, gets to me, honey. So it, I said, hold it. We can control it. We can control it. Doing the jerk, baby. Doing the jerk, yeah. Doing the jerk. Once you start, you wouldn't stop if you could. No, 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 no. And now you feel it hurting so good. Yeah, well I knew you had what it takes. Love to see you shiver and shake. Girl, you're grooving. Girl, you're grooving. Just keep it moving. Just keep it moving. Doing the jerk. Yeah, doing the jerk. Baby, doing the jerk. And don't you know now, doing the jerk.
I'm telling you, Johnny G is going to be acting like a jerk. This chair is driving me crazy. I ordered a new steel chair. I can't wait. It's either coming tomorrow or the next day. I can't wait. This chair is, I mean, I got it for free. My brother, my sister-in-law was going to throw it out now. It keeps on sinking and I can't stand it. It's too low. It really gets my gourd. It does. So I'm sorry if I'm acting like a jerk, but there you go. That's Clyde and the Blue Jays, September 64, on the Loma record label out of California, The Big Jerk Part 1. Everybody was doing the jerk. You know how to do that? It's like if you check some of the American Bandstand clips, it's like a double jerk down with your hand if you look, depending on how the beat goes. I mean, you can see some of those people, they don't know how to dance, especially the guys, but there's others that are pretty good. If you check those 1964 clips, there's a bunch of records on there when they're doing the jerk, but it's kind of weird. They're doing the jerk to the swim, which makes no sense anyway. Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. Now, this gal, she hails from Philadelphia, PA, began recording back in 1961 when she was 16 years old. And her debut single came out on the Scepter label. It was called If You See Bill. It's a great slow ballad, which I should get out to play here on the program. She has other releases. They followed up on Juan Records and Try Me Records and Checker under her real name, Tammy Montgomery. But in 1965, she signed with Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown record label. She had 2 releases that year. But it wasn't until she teamed up with Marvin Gaye that she achieved national success as Tammy Terrell. Now, she had some solo efforts, too. This was her final solo release, and it's a cover tune, first recorded by the Isley Brothers back in 1966. It was actually their first record for the Tamla record label. It was a big hit for them, but this version charted number 83 on Cashbox, 67 on Billboard, 31 on the R&B, but a big number 9 record if you were listening to in WSNY in Schenectady, New York, from December 1968. Let's give a listen to Tammy Terrell. This is on the Motown record label, her final release. It's the final release. It's called This Old Heart of Mine. Ah, my new needle. I told you, it's the big jerk time. There you go.
Break
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. That is Tammy Terrell. Tammy Terrell from December 1968. That's on the Motown record label. Her tune called This Old Heart of Mine, parentheses, is weak for you. That's the full title. You'll also see that on the Isley Brothers release there. That one from December 1968. Her last solo release. That was unfortunate that Tammy Terrell was diagnosed with a cancerous tumor after she collapsed on stage sometime in 1967, and she died from that tumor on March 16th of 1970 at the age of 24. Too young to go. We remember her here on the Vinyltreasure show. Let's continue here. For this group from Wilmington, Delaware, first providing background vocals in late 1961 to Vic and the Versatiles on the Dandy label. And in 1964, with a release on the Candy label, Candi, the A-side was by Edwin Johnson, and the flip side was by Silas Pfeiffer. They backed up those two singers. This group was then managed by Phil Flowers and Ron Shefflin, and they signed them to Dot Records. They had two releases on Dot. This was their first. It was produced by Jerry Granahan, arranged by George Bold. From July 68, give a listen to the Mellow Fellows. The Mellow Fellows on the Dot label. It's called My Baby Needs Me.
Just watching me, trying to see if he can play his part, yeah. Oh man, loneliness, waiting just to make a mess of the love that I have for the girl deep in my heart. Oh, forgive up my sweet thing. Mountains gonna talk, rivers gonna sing, 'cause she needs me, and I know she needs me. My baby needs me, oh yes she does. My baby needs me, I know she does. Oh man blues says I'm gonna have to pay some dues. You're gonna run out of love. Oh, make my woman cry. Birds are gonna walk, they're gonna fly, 'cause she needs me. I know she needs me. My baby needs me. Oh yes she does. My baby needs me. I know she does. She's lonely, my baby leaves. She calls out my name, my baby leaves.
That's the sound. My chair is up now. That's the sound of the Mellow Fellows there, July 1968. It's on the Dot record label, My Baby Leaves Me. What did I say that was? Was that their... That's their first. Yeah, that's their first of two on the Dot record label. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. This gal, she's from Newark, New Jersey. She began recording in 1964 for the Ascot record label. In 1967, she covered a song first recorded by Dee Dee Warwick. It was called I'm Gonna Make You Love Me. It was issued on the Mod label. That was the first press for that 45. It would be picked up by Philips record for national distribution, and that of course would be her biggest hit. I think it made it to 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. That was her first of three on Philips. This is her third, and it is also a cover. This tune written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney for UK singer. They wrote this for Cilla Black. It came out on Bell Records here in the States in May of 1968, but this is from December of 68. This charted number 4 on KFXM in San Bernardino, California. We go to December 68 for Madeleine Bell. Madeleine Bell, her third release on the Philips label. It's called Step Inside Love.
Step inside, love. Let me find you a place where the cares of the day will be carried away by the smile on your face. We are together now and forever. Come my way. Step inside, love, and stay. Step inside, love. I want you to step inside, love. You know I do. Step inside, love. I want you to stay. You look tired, love. Let me turn down the light. Coming out of the cold, rest your head on my shoulder and love me tonight. I'll always be here if you should need me, night and day. Step inside, love, and stay. Step inside, love. I want you to step inside, love. You know I do. Step inside, love. I want you to stay. When you leave me, say you'll see me again. For I'll know in my heart we will not be apart, and I'll miss you till then. We'll be together now and forever. Come my way. Step inside, love, and stay. Step inside, love. I want you to step inside, love. You know I do. Step inside, love. I want you to stay.
As Madeleine Bell, that's her third release on the Philips record label from December 68. It's called Step Inside Love. Johnny G's stepping in my 60s boxes of 45s here. We spin them from 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio. Also, those of you on YouTube tuned in, getting some new subscribers here. So we need to increase the subscription rate here. So if you're new to the program, you dig what Johnny G is doing, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hopefully you will give me a thumbs up as I spin these 45s. Let's continue here for this next singer. He was a member of the Brothers of Soul, that group first recording in 1967 for Ricardo Williams' Crisscross label. You might know their tune called Harry Don't Linger. It will become their first of 7 on the Boo record label. Boo Records, also owned by Rick Williams, and one of the members, Bobby Eaton, who was a member of that group, and also a member of the Creations that recorded for the Zodiac label in 67, another label owned by Rick Williams, which was based out of Chicago. He would have a solo release on that Zodiac label in 68, but this is what puzzled me. This release on the Galaxy label, because Galaxy Records is out of Berkeley, California. What is this record doing on a California label? I don't know. Maybe Rick Williams sold the master to Max and Sol Weiss. They own this Galaxy label. It was out of the Bay Area in California, big soul label. But anyway, that might have been the deal. I don't know, but it's from September 69. Give a listen to Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton on the Galaxy label. It's called Fever, Fever, Fever.
Let me tell you about fever, fever, fever. Love is fever, y'all. Fever, fever, fever. Love is fever, nah, nah. Once you felt the love of someone for real, you get a feeling like you've never had before. So mysterious, yet so delirious. You hope it never lets you go. No, y'all. Fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, nah, nah, nah. Fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, y'all. Once you kiss the lips of someone you love, your mind goes real, just like you lost control. Joy's outrageous, y'all, yet sweetly contagious. You hope they never let you go. No, y'all. Tell you about fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, y'all. Fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, nah, nah. You wanna tell the world love is fever in your own words about the fire that's deep down in your soul. That love's the beginning, y'all. And it will never let you go. No. Fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, nah, nah, nah. Fever, 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 fever. Love is fever, y'all. Fever, love is alright there. Yes, it is.
That's Bobby Eaton. Bobby Eaton there from September 1969. It's on the Galaxy record label. It's called Fever, Fever, Fever. Now, let's see. Josue Perez. Let me see. It's, well, that's not on that side there. The flip side here is, it's called We Gonna Do Our Thing. So I do have that record right by my side. I forget who. I do have that 45. I do. But anyway, that's Bobby Eaton there, September 69, from on the Galaxy record label, Galaxy Records, out of Berkeley, California. Fever, fever, fever. Johnny G had a fever of 103 when I had COVID last October. It was horrible, I have to say, but it was just weird. I couldn't even go to sleep. I was so hot. It was horrible. That's all I can tell you. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, let's go to Detroit, Michigan now for this singer. She has this one release on a Willie Tony Ewing's Pop Tone record label. Now, he also owned the Chex label out of Detroit and also the Volume label out of Detroit. And they were all station based out of Detroit, Michigan. But he wrote this tune and produced this tune for this singer by the name of Ruby Lee. This one from October 63. Give a listen to Ruby Lee. That rhymes. It's on the Pop Tone label. It's called I Believe in You.
You said you wanted me. How could you have made it sound? You said forever and not for a while. And I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you and all the things you say. Yeah, people start talking all over town. They say you are laughing at me and call me a clown. Yet I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you and all the things you said. Oh, they talk about you and they talk about me. They say your love is untrue. Oh, but I'm trying to prove your love was true. And you are making me a fool. People start talking all over town. They say you the joker and call me a clown. Yet I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you and all the things you said. 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 Yeah. All the things you
That's a cool tune there for Ruby Lee. Ruby Lee, she's out of Detroit, October 63. It's on the Pop Tone record label. I Believe in You is the name of the tune. Johnny G's hurting his knee with this ridiculous chair. I'm going to throw it out of the window here, so I am really mad. Please, don't tell me what happened today. Lots of bad things happened today, so I am fit to be tied. But we continue here. The music has to calm me down as we go to this nice tune here. This is a special request for listener Adrian in our YouTube chat room here. And this group is out of Chicago. We go back to Chicago. They performed at the Democratic National Convention back in 1960. And Carl Davis, who was in the audience, he was also the A&R man for the OK record label at the time. He brought them over to the label, and they backed up Major Lance, I think, with their first recordings, backed up Major Lance, which led to their own releases on the OK record label. Now, this is their, Charlene has this as their debut single, their first of 5 on the OK record label. It features Robert Dobine on lead, and this is a request for Adrian, who is tuned in, listening in Mexico, tuned into the Vinyltreasure show. Let's go to July of 63. These are the Artistics on the OK label. It's called Charlene, what is that? That's not the title. It's called I'll Come Running.
Just snap your finger and I'll come running to you, 'cause no other girl has all the charms that you do. Just a flick of
check something real quick here for a second on this flip side. This Heart of Mine, no, which is a good song too. Charlene, that's the wrong info you sent me. Anyway, there you go. That's for a listener, Adrian, in our YouTube chat room there, as I didn't get the next record up there. I knew this was going to be one of those nights here. But here we go. Let me just get set up here, folks. Let me go to the next record here. So there you go. That's going out to Adrian there, though. That's the sound of the Artistics from 1963. I don't think it's from 63 either. I think it's a different date. This is I'll Come Running, as Johnny G should be go running here as we continue here on the All 60s edition. And on the last 60s show, I featured Billy Stewart, and I played the B-side to his 12th release on Leonard Chess's Chess record label. It was called Why Am I Lonely? Let's listen to the A-side of that 45 before I file it back down in the No Humidity basement. This tune written by Sugar Pie DeSanto and Sheena DeMel. This was number 38 on the R&B chart, a big number 10 record on KGFJ, if you were listening in LA, California. Also, it was a number 10 record on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. Let's go to April of 1966 for the great sound of Billy Stewart. Billy Stewart on Chess Records. This is the A-side. It's called Love Me.
You telling me you want me, I tell you you don't. First you're telling me you need me, and then you're telling me you won't love me. Woo, love me. If you really want my love, get it right down to biz. You would hold me, squeeze me, kiss me, show me just like you did. But maybe if we wait a little longer, your love for me will get a little stronger than love me. Woo, love me. You telling me you will, I tell you you won't. First you're telling me you do, and then you're telling me you don't love me. Love me. Forget unhappiness and think of love and joy. If you be my baby love, I'll be your baby boy. Even if it takes a little longer for your love to get a little stronger, just love me. Woo, love me. So true, because I love you. So if you really want my love, get it right down to biz. You would hold me, squeeze me, kiss me, show me just like it is. But maybe if we wait a little longer, your love for me will get a little stronger than love me. Woo, love me. Come on, baby, I need your love, love me. Don't you know, said I right now, my darling, love me. Ooh, baby, love me. Don't you know, I never you so come on.
That's the sound of Billy Stewart there. I messed up there. Adrian in Mexico. I messed up your request. I don't know how I got that mixed up with that record there. I don't know. Maybe it looked the same or whatever when I was looking for it at 4 a.m. in the morning. But I will get that 45 out for you because I do have it. Anyway, that's the sound of Billy Stewart, April 1966 on the Chess record label. Song called "Love Me." That was his 12th release on the Chess label, and it was really unfortunate what happened to Billy Stewart and 3 members of his band. They all died on January 17th of 1970 when the tie rod, supposedly this is what happened, the tie rod of his Ford Thunderbird failed, and it caused Billy to lose control of the car, and it hit some kind of a bridge abutment. It hit it, and then it slid, and it went plunging into the Nose, I think that's how you pronounce it, and the Nose River in North Carolina. And Billy Stewart was driving that Thunderbird, and the 3 of his band members died. William Cathy, Rico Hightower, and Norman Rich. A horrible, horrible death that happened in 1970 off that bridge. It was terrible. But he left us with some great music there. Died too soon. He did. Johnny G here on a Wednesday. Hopefully I didn't say Saturday. I need some drugs is what I need. Let's continue here on the All 60s show. Now, on last week's show, I featured this singer from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Played his first of 4 on High Weiss's Old Town record label called Crazy Little Girl. Let's give a listen to his 3rd on the Old Town label. It's a tune he wrote from October 64, Donald Height. Donald Height on the Old Town label. It's called Baby Set Me Free.
Baby, you don't want me. You don't want me. And you don't want nobody else to have me. All you care about is yourself. You don't need nobody else. So I'm begging. Hey, girl, I'm begging. Baby, set me free now. Baby, set me free now. I saw you last night with another guy. Ask you about it, baby. You told me a lie. Everybody, somebody's fool, but I want you to know that I've been to school. So I'm begging. Hey, girl, I'm begging. Honey, set me free now. Baby, set me free now. I don't wanna hurt you, baby. Ain't gonna let you hurt me, no, no, no. The best thing that you can do is, girl, won't you set me free? 'Cause baby, you know you don't want me, baby. You don't want me. Oh, but you want, no, no. Go away and leave me. There is a whole lot of fish in the sea, and I can find a girl something well for me. So I'm begging. Hey, said I'm a begging. Hey, girl, set me free now. Set me free. Now, baby, set me free now. Baby, baby, set me free now. Set me free. Baby, 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 baby. I want you to let me go, baby. I said, let me go.
That's the sound of Donald Height. Warren, that's not an easy record to find. That record was only, from what I understand, this record was only pressed in California on the on the Monarch pressing plant. I haven't seen any East Coast presses of this. Nobody has this record. I don't know where I picked it up, but it's from October 64. Donald Haidt on the Old Town record label, Baby Set Me Free. Now, after Old Town, he had releases on RCA, Roulette, Shout, Jubilee, and other labels. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition. This chair keeps on sinking. I'm telling you, I'm gonna walk out is what I'm gonna do. But this next group, they're out of San Diego, California. This is their debut single, first issued on the Commerce label, which was out of Downey, California. Then in May of '64, it would be picked up by Gene Autry's Challenge label about 5 months later, and it's a female lead with male backing. And it was a self-contained group, this group. They played, which means self-contained. When Johnny G talks about that, means they played their own instruments. Now, Tony Johnson, he was on the drums. Gabe Lopano was on keyboards. Don Lovis on guitar. Frank Mannix was on bass. Doug Myers on the saxophone, and the lead singer, a female by the name of Sandra Ann Rouse. Now, this charted number 133 on Billboard. It bubbled under, and it was a big number 6 record on KCBQ in San Diego, California, but on the Challenge label. I'm featuring it on its first press. It's got a terrible sticker on there. I'm afraid to move it. I'm going to have to use something special to get that sticker off. But it's on Commerce Records from May 64. These are the Accents on Commerce Records. It's called Better Watch Out, Boy.
Sweet was your kiss, fine were your charm. When I held you in my arms, you better watch out, boy, 'cause I'm falling in love with you, in love with you. You better watch out, boy, you better watch out, boy. Whenever I see you, my heart skips a beat. I've never loved so deep. You better watch out, boy, 'cause I'm falling in love with you, in love with you. You better watch out, boy, you better watch out, boy. So please say you love me in your own sweet way. Say your love is here to stay. You better watch out, boy, 'cause I'm falling in love with you, in love with you. Better watch out, boy, 'cause I'm falling in love with you. 'Cause I'm falling.
They're called the Accents. The Accents says Sandy on lead. Her Her real name is Sandra Ann Rouse, May 1964 on the Commerce record label. You better watch out, boy. I don't think it says you better watch out, boy. She's threatening her boyfriend there. You threatening me? Don't threaten me. It was a big hit when it first came out. Oh, no, actually, I'm messing up again. This next group, they're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. First recording on the Terry label back in 1964. Had 2 releases on Terry Records. And they also have releases on the Olympic label. Also, I think that came out, whatever that Olympic release was, it came out on the ITZY label too in 64. But in 65, they signed with Fraternity Records, and their third release that came out in the fall of 66 would become their biggest hit. I'm sure many of you know the song. It was called Then You Can Tell Me Goodbye. But when that song started climbing the charts, their old record company, that being Terry Records, would re-release their second single. They put it out on a label called Airtown Records. It first was issued in June of 64 on the Terry label. Then in March of 67, they put it out on Airtown, hoping that maybe it would become a hit. Alas, it did not, but it features Gene Hughes on lead from March 67. These are the Casinos on the Airtown label. It's called That's the Way.
That's the way I wanna be with you. The way I wanna be with you. Close as water is to a stream. That's the way I wanna be with you. As close as you are in my dream. That's the way I wanna be with you. Well, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way I wanna be with you. The way I wanna be with you. Close as my ring on your finger, my pillow to my head, a beat to a flower. That's the way I wanna be with you. Well, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way I wanna be with you. The way I wanna be with you. Well, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way. That's the way I wanna be with you. The way I wanna be with you.
They're called the Casinos. The Casinos there, Gene Hughes on lead. That's from March 67 on the Airtown record label. That's the Way. When it first came out on the Terry label, it was a big hit in Cincinnati, Ohio on WSAI. It was number 12 record on WSAI on the Terry label. That on the second time around on Airtown Records. Let's continue now on the All 60s edition for this next singer. He's from Montgomery, Alabama. He was blind since he was 11 years old, but it didn't stop him from having a very successful singing career. First recording in a duo with Calvin Scott Thomas as Clarence and Calvin, beginning in 1961, I think on Fairlane Records first. In 63, they signed with Don Robey's Duke record label, but he would go solo in 1967, recording for the Fame label, 3 releases on Fame Records, but didn't experience any big-time hits, not until he signed with Atlantic Records. That was in 1968. He would have 15 releases on Atlantic through 1972. This is his 6th release. It's charted number 65 on Billboard, 39 on Cashbox, was number 9 on the Billboard R&B chart, but a big number 1 record on WGOV in Valdosta, Georgia. Now, I'm going to play this original version. I'm going to follow it up with a cover tune. I'm going to play it back to back, a cover tune from 1970, kind of like a battle of the songs. And you can comment and tell me which one you like better. But this is the original from May 69 on Atlantic Records, Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter and the original version of The Feeling Is Right.
Just won't let me be. Oh no, I tried to be patient, baby, but I just can't stand the pain. Oh no, and there's no time like right now, darling, while we're alone again. The feeling is right. Time is right now. And you said the feeling is right. I got to have your love. My desires won't wait forever, darling. My willpower's growing weak. Oh yeah. And I can't feel this need inside with promises you won't keep. Oh no. So put away your childish ways and let the woman in you shine. Oh yeah. And let a good thing come between us, girl. Get down with this love of mine. The feeling is right, and the time is right now. Oh, the feeling is right. I got to have your love. I said the feeling is right, and the time is right now. Sometimes you make me feel like
Every time I'm with you, darling, a fever comes over me. Oh yeah, there's a burning deep inside, it just won't let me be. Now I try to be patient, baby, but I just can't stand the pain. Oh no, there's no time like right now, darling, while we're alone again. Feeling's right, and the time is right now, baby. Feeling is right. I got to have your love. forever, darling. My willpower's growing weak. Oh yeah, and I just can't feel this need inside with promises you won't keep. Oh baby, put away your childish face and let the man in you shine. Come on, baby, let a good thing come between us. Get on with this love of mine. Oh, feeling is right, and the time is right now. Hey, baby, feeling is right. I got to have your love. Hey, baby, I got to have it. Come on, baby, give it to me right now, darling. Yeah, come on, baby, I need it. Bring it to me, baby.
Well, Miami Santi likes the original version, and so does Warren likes the original version. Record Hound, he likes this version. And I don't know, I can't see any others there. But anyway, that was like a contrast of the two songs, a battle of the songs there. Heard the original as done by Clarence Carter from May 1969. This one came out in November of 1970 on the Canyon record label. This gal, she was born Doris Curry out of Sandersville, Georgia. She started out singing gospel, singing with the likes of the Raspberry Singers, the Davis Sisters, and the Caravans. But in 63 she started doing backup work here in New York City, first recorded as Doris Willingham in 67 with the release on the High Monty label. She has another one under that name on J-Boy Records in the fall of 68. Then in 1970 she signed with Canyon Records as Doris Duke. We just heard the cover of originally done by Clarence Carter. This was a number 5 record on WMGM in Miami, Florida, November 1970. That cover tune by Doris Duke, The Feeling Is Right, on the Canyon label. The feeling isn't right for Johnny G in this chair. I can tell you that much here, as I am totally bummed out, just about sitting on the floor here. But let's continue. Here is another flip side from last week's 60s show. I featured this artist from Philadelphia, PA. His second of 3 on the Decca label was a cover of the Shirelles' big hit, Will You Love Me Tomorrow? But let's give a listen to the flip side before this one goes back down in the No Humidity basement. This tune written by Johnny Madera, David White, and Leonard Borisoff. Leonard Borisoff, a.k.a. Len Barry. This one arranged by Leroy Glover from April 66. Bunny Siegler. Bunny Siegler on the Decca label. It's called Comparatively Speaking.
Chandelier in the mist of sin. You're like a living doll next to a mannequin. Comparatively speaking, when all is said and done, comparatively speaking, there's no comparison. You're like a pedigree next to a common mud. You're like a Taj Mahal beside a bamboo hut. You're like a fine silk suit compared to dungaree. You're like a royal flush next to a pair of breeze. Comparatively speaking, when all is said and done, comparatively speaking, there's no comparison.
B-sides. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. There you go. That's Bunny Siegler. That is the second of three on the Decca record label. Comparatively Speaking is the name of the tune. Came out in April of 1966. And that one there from, I mentioned that. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. You know this next singer, born in Washington, D.C., first sang with a group called the Marquis, backed up Billy Stewart on his OK release back in 1957. They had their own release. I think it was called Wyatt Earp, on OK Records in 1957. But Harvey Fuqua would recruit them to back him up on his releases on the Chess label. They were the new Moonglows with backing up Harvey Fuqua, so they ended up going up to Chicago, and but then he would head to Detroit, this singer. The group would disband, and he would go to Detroit along with Harvey Fuqua, and in 1960, he signed with Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla record label to have about, I was trying to count the releases, there's like 53 releases by this singer through 1983 or 86, and that includes his duets with the gals he sang with. But this is his 22nd or 20th or 22nd release, I guess, a tune written by that famous team, Holland Dozier Holland. This charted number 34 on Cashbox, number 35 on Billboard. Not one of his big hits, but listen, if you make the top 40, that is a hit. It was number 7, though, on the R&B chart, and number 4 on WRAW, if you were listening in Reading, Pennsylvania. Let's go to June of 67 for Mr. Marvin Gaye. I haven't featured him in a while. Marvin Gaye on the Tamla label. It's called Your Unchanging Love.
I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. I need you, baby, baby, I need you right now. Darling, there comes a time in everybody's life when they learn, as I've learned, that being loved is more important than painting the town on a noon and night. Cause night life may have bright lights, but I've learned in time they go dim. But your love and tender arms, I can always come home to them. And I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. Gonna hold on to your unchanging love. I need you, baby, baby, I need you right now. I used to have more friends than I could count, but now all of my so-called friends are gone, since I lost every bit of my bank account. But I'm tired of running round, so in your arms I'm gonna settle down. Cause if I don't have a dime, I know your love is mine. And I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. Yeah. Said I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. I need you, baby, baby, I need you right now. Darling, everybody needs somebody. Ooh, I need you. I know now nobody really loves me, honey, 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 the way you do. One more thing, I've changed girls in my life as often as I've changed my suits, only to learn the only true happiness is being, honey, being loved by you. That's why I'm gonna hold on to your unchanging love. I'm gonna hold on, baby, to your
Definitely don't hear that one on Sirius that often. Usually it's Hitchhike. I don't even hear Stubborn Kind of Fellow on the 60s channel. Maybe on the Soul channel you may hear that, but you won't hear it on the 60s channel. You're going to hear it here on the 60s channel. Marvin Gaye, June 1967, a lost hit by him on Tamla Records, Your Unchanging Love. Johnny G not changing anything, playing original vinyl 45s for this with this gal. A couple of weeks ago I featured this gal from St. Louis, Missouri. Her biggest hit on Leonard Chess's Chess label, it was called Selfish One. That was her first of 7 for Chess. This is her third, taken from the Chess LP Full Bloom. If you have that one, I don't have it. It's written by Billy Davis, Carl Smith, and Wilfred McKinley. This charted number 126 on the Bubbling Under charts, unfortunately, but a big number 21 record on WVON in Chicago, Illinois, from November 64, Miss Jackie Ross. Jackie Ross on Chess Records. It's called Haste Makes Waste. So yeah, I'll be featuring sounds of Jackie Ross over the next few weeks. I pulled out all her Chess 45s. That one there from November 64, Jackie Ross on Chess Records. Haste Makes Waste is the name of that tune. Let's continue now for this next singer as we head back. We go going back and forth to Chicago, to Detroit, to Chicago. Here's Detroit. This first recorded on the Lando label back in 1964. He was only 11 years old. He was known as Little Carl Carlton. And in 1968, he moved to Houston, Texas, signed to Don Robey's Backbeat record label as 14-year-old sensation Little Carl Carlton. Had 10 releases on the Backbeat record label. This is the B-side to his third release. This is produced by Mike Terry and Joe Armstead. This is from April of 69. Little Carl Carlton on the Backbeat label. It's called Bad for Each Other.
Say we're too young to be lovers. They say we're bad
so happily. We're living in a world of fantasy. They say we're bad for each other, and don't take us affair any further. If we parted, it would surely erase this smile upon my face. 'Cause you're my soul inspiration, and you're my whole conversation. I can understand why soul inspiration. They say the things we don't know can lead us wrong. Then why don't they tell us and leave us alone? All we ask for is a little advice. Then we'll live and learn the fact of life. 'Cause you're my soul inspiration, and you're my whole conversation. I can understand why soul inspiration. Hey baby, oh honey, I say that you're my soul inspiration. Oh baby, baby, honey, you got to be my soul inspiration. Baby, yeah, baby, come on and be my soul inspiration.
As little Carlton there, that one there on the Backbeat record label, April 1969, the B-side to his third release. Bad for Each Other is the name of the tune. Of course, in 74, he had his biggest hit, a cover of the Robert Knight tune, Everlasting Love. You remember that tune? Came out. That was also on Backbeat Records, although it was by that time was purchased by ABC Records, I think, which went belly up anyway. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening here, sitting on the floor here with this chair. Can't wait for my new one to come in. I hope it comes in before Saturday's show, because my knees are killing me. I need to be on a real high chair. You know that? I need to be on a high chair, and I'm like below the mixer here. I can't deal with this. Let's continue here. I can't tell you much about this gal, but she has 2 releases on the Verve label. But really, you know, when I'm looking for 45's, what catches my eye on these 45's, especially on this one, it was arranged by Tico Wilshire. And it's written and produced by Roger Atkins and Carl D'Erico. And this is her second release on the Verve label. I have both her records on Verve Records, but this is her second from October 66. Her name is Penny Carter. Penny Carter on Verve Records is called We Gotta Try Harder.
Your heart can't be lazy when there's so much you think. Hey.
Yes, Ron, we need a new chair here. Hopefully, like I said, I hope I get it before Saturday. I'll put it together. I can't, I'm sitting on the floor. You see, you can't, when you're a big guy, you can't sit down, and I'll never get up off this chair because I had a tendon transplant. For many years, I was when I used to play sports when I was younger, you run to the base, either softball or kickball or whatever it is. So I would run to first base after you hit the ball. There you go. So I would extend my leg and it would lock. It would hyperextend. This was my left knee. So my kneecap would come all the way up. It would come up to my thigh, and then it would fall back. I'd fall down, of course, and then my knee would swell up like 5 times its normal size. So, I went to the doctor, and listen, now you're talking about a doctor in 1967, 68. Oh, your son has a trick knee. You need to put hot packs on it. It was completely wrong. It wasn't supposed to have hot packs. It was supposed to have ice, like 15 minutes of ice on and off. What did they know, these doctors at the time, making house calls? So, I don't know. I'm in high school. I'm a freshman. I'm going in high school, a freshman in high school, and I'm just before school was starting. I played volleyball, and we had a party somewhere, a family get-together, and I went to serve the ball, and it wasn't like flat terrain. It was like, that grass with kind of bumps in it. Well, anyway, I serve the ball, and I twist my knee, and I fall. So the host of the party was really nice. He's like, John, are you okay? This and that. No, I was not. I had a pair of jeans on, and I couldn't take them off because my knee swelled so much that it was so tight. The jeans, which are loose, were tight around the knee. So I made an appointment to go see the orthopedic guy, and he goes to me, you have to have surgery right away on both knees. I said, are you kidding me? I'm not having surgery on both knees. I'm starting school in like 4 days. I'm going to be a freshman in high school. I got to go to school. He goes, well, I'm sorry. That's my prognosis. So I went to this doctor in White Plains. He was 98 years old. So he, and that's when they were doing the x-rays. They didn't give you the lead aprons and whatnot. So he's taking all these x-rays. He goes, John, I'm sorry, but you have to have surgery on that left knee right away. It shouldn't take that long. It should take me only an hour or two, and I'll fix it. Okay, so what turns out to be an hour was like 6 hours. Remember, I was a young kid in this hospital. They didn't know where to put me. If they should put me in the adult ward or the children's ward. I end up in the children's ward. Remember, how old was I? Like 13 years old, a freshman in high school. So anyway, I got to go for this surgery, and I didn't know what to expect. It was the first time I ever had any kind of surgery. I was this kid. So these older nurses come in, and they say to me, we have to prepare you for the operation tomorrow morning. So you need to soak your foot in this purple solution, and we need to shave you. I said, shave me? Where are you shaving me? You're shaving my leg? And they go, yes, we have to shave your leg. So I says, okay, you got to shave my leg. So she was actually a little younger. She was pretty nice. I was just a kid now. So did you ever have a dry shave before? But it was a razor. She had this razor. So she's going on my leg. So she finishes up to the knee. She gets to the knee, and she keeps on going higher. So she says to me, you have to remove your underwear. I said, excuse me? She says, you have to, I says, well, wait a minute. Why do I have to? I mean, if it was now, I really wouldn't care. But I didn't know anything back then. So she goes, I said, well, how high do you have to go with this shaving bit? She says, well, we can't stop there. We have to go higher. I think I said to her, and don't ask me why I said this. I said to her, are you married? So she steps out of the room, and then she comes back, and what she must have did is she must have turned her ring around, and she shows it to me. She goes, yes, I'm married. So take your underwear. I says, no, I'm not doing it. So I eventually did. She gave me a towel, and I'm telling you, I'm pressing this towel as tight as I could. I'm going, where are you going with the razor? I mean, you're going too high. You don't go that high with the razor. So I don't know. Why am I saying this story here? That's because I'm teed off is why. So anyway, they painted my leg orange, and I had this surgery. And it's all because of my chair. See, Rob, what you caused for the chair. So they did this operation. It took like 5 hours. I was in a cast for like 6 months. It was 6 months. I had 60 staples in my, they used to staple your skin together. I wasn't really thin at the time. So you had to go for therapy where they submerge your leg in hot boiling water, and then they put weights on the end, and they little by little you're exercising the leg. So they said to me, you're always going to have a problem with that knee, but what happened was you have a deformity in your knee. I said, I thought I had a trick knee. They said, no, you have no tendons holding your kneecap in. I said, oh, great. That's wonderful. You can't play contact sports anymore. You're done. So I'm going to give you a note. You're going to give it to your physical education teacher. They were not happy at the high school because I gave them this note, and they said I couldn't take gym class, which was a requirement to graduate. So they said, so in lieu of that, we'll let you take other business classes. I says, okay. I says, I'll take typing class. So while they were all playing sports out there, I was walking around with crutches typing. That's how come I can type I can type like 75 words a minute. I'm pretty fast on the typing. But to them, my senior year, they said, John, you can't play any of the contact sports, but you could play golf. I says, okay. You can do archery. I said, okay, I'll do archery. I'll do golf, but I can't do basketball. I can't do softball. I can't do any running. The knee's going to pop on me. So anyway, that's my bum knee, and that's why sitting in this chair is killing my leg, because now, all these years later with the arthritis. But anyway, let's get back to the music. What did I play? I played Penny Carter. Penny Carter from April 69. Bad for Each Other was the name of the tune. That was on the Backbeat record label. So let's continue here. And this was odd. I was looking in the box. I saw this record here. You couldn't see it because the print was so small. And I never really looked that close because I need new glasses. But the leader of this band that's on this record, he's originally from Norfolk, Virginia, and he relocated to New York City. He was a member of the 1950s vocal group The Empires. I think he was also a member of the Whirlers that recorded for Whirling Disc. I play those records on my Saturday night show. But he would manage the charts. Some of you that are familiar with my Saturday night show know the charts. They had a hit with the song called Desiree. That was in 1957 on Everlast. But he would have an instrumental hit on Everlast in 1962. Maybe you know it. It was called Wiggle Wobble. He was known as Les Cooper and the Soul Rockers. Now, here is Les Cooper and the Soul Rockers from 1969 on the Atco label. It's a song he wrote with someone by the name of Bobby Dunn, but it features a vocalist. His name is Guy Turner. Guy Turner is the lead singer on this, and this is the intended B-side. Let's go back to January 69 for Les Cooper and the Soul Rockers with this guy, Guy Turner, on lead. It's on Atco Records. It's called Gonna Have a Lot of Fun. There you go. That is Les Cooper and the Soul Rockers there from January 1969, featuring the lead vocalist there. Guy Turner is his name. Gonna Have a Lot of Fun is the name of that one. Came out on the Atco record label. We continue here on the All 60s edition. Now, on last week's All 60s show, I featured this gal from Greenwood, Mississippi, played the B-side to her fourth release on the VJ record label. It was called Chained to Your Love. Let's give a listen to the A-side here. It's a cover tune. This tune written by Clint Ballard Jr., first recorded by Dee Dee Warwick in September of 1963, which was her debut single, by the way. But this gal had the first cover of this song. It was done by many artists, of course, but this release went up to number 51 on Billboard, 40 on Cashbox, a big number 2 record if you were listening on KIMN in Denver, Colorado. We go to October 1963 for Miss Betty Everett. Betty Everett on VJ Records and her rendition of the tune, You're No Good.
Feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better 'cause I'm over you. I've learned my lesson and left the scar, and now I see how you really are. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. I'm gonna say it again, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. You know I broke a heart, was gentle and true. I left the boy for someone like you. I'll beg his forgiveness on bending knee, but I wouldn't blame him if he said to me, it's no good, no good, it's no good, baby, it's no good. Hey, I'm gonna say it louder. Good, no good, it's no good, baby, it's no good. No good. If he'll have me, we'll start anew. It'll be easy forgetting you. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good. Oh, you know what I mean. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Oh, I'm putting you down, baby, and I'm going my way. Forget about you, baby, I'm leaving to stay. You're no good, no good, no good, baby, you're no good. Oh, I say you're no good, no good, you're no good, baby, you're no good.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. That's Betty Everett's version of the Dee Dee Warwick tune, You're No Good, October 1963 on VJ Records for that one. Now, who else covered this? The next one, I think in 64, the Swingin' Blue Jeans did it, right? A group called the Typhoons, they also recorded it in 1964. And I think Tina Turner did it in 65. And Graham Bonney did it in 1966. Barbara West, she recorded it in 1968, of course. And in 74, Little Milton recorded it, and so did Linda Ronstadt. I think she had a big hit with it, though, Linda Ronstadt. Anyway, let's continue here. This next singer, he goes by the name of Kenny Fox, maybe a made-up name, possibly, but he had 2 overall releases. This one on the Capitol label from December 63, and a later release that came out on RCA from July 68. Now, this tune written by Robert Mosley and Josephine Armstead. And you're going to hear Josephine singing on this a record here. She's the gal's voice you hear in the background. It's arranged by Belford Hendricks. Go to December of 63. We stay in the year 63 for Kenny Fox. Kenny Fox on the Capitol record label. Isn't that a DJ somewhere? Kenny Fox. This tune is called What You Gonna Do? No. Yeah. What You Gonna Do?
Tell me what you gonna do when your baby leaves you now. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Oh, what you gonna do when your baby leaves you now? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Will you laugh? Will you cry? Or will you wanna die? 'Cause she's gone. Tell me if you can go on when you find your baby's gone now. You all alone.
When you're all alone.
Tell me if you can go on when you find your baby's gone now. You all alone.
When you're all alone.
Will you eat? Will you sleep? Or will you count sheep while she's gone? Can you tell me how long you're gonna cry when your baby tells you bye-bye? When you're all alone, we moan 'cause she's gone.
'Cause she's gone.
'Cause she's gone.
'Cause she's
Yeah.
gone.
What you gonna do when your baby leaves you now? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Tell me what you gonna do when your baby leaves you now? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Try to eat, get some sleep, go on and seek another love. Can you tell me how long you're gonna cry when your baby tells you bye-bye? When you're all alone, we moan 'cause she's gone, 'cause she's gone. What you gonna do when your baby leaves you now? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Tell me what you gonna do when your baby leaves you now. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Don't moan, don't groan, don't cry or wanna die. Try to eat, get some sleep, go on and seek another love. Yeah, now baby, tell me what you gonna do
When you're all alone.
Oh, what you gonna do?
When your baby's
Tell
gone.
me now, what you gonna do?
Will you eat? Will you sleep?
What you gonna do?
Or will you count sheep?
That's Kenny Fox and the uncredited Joe Armstead in the background there with him, kind of like a duet there from December 63. It's on the Capitol record label. It's called What You Gonna Do? What you gonna do if Johnny G's not spinning original 60s 45s on a Wednesday night? You can be looking at the stars, possibly. You can be doing something else too. But let's continue here for this next singer, originally from Blytheville, Arkansas. He moved to Chicago in 1941, became a member of the 1950s vocal group The Cool Gents. Then that was in the 1950s. They recorded for the VJ record label. He would go solo in 1958 with releases on the VJ subsidiary Falcon and Abner Records. Then ended up back on the parent label VJ Records. Would have his biggest hit in 1961, a record I really like he does, called Raindrops, plus others that are really nice. And after VJ, though, he cut some sides for Constellation Records, had some big Northern Soul tunes on that label. Now, after Constellation, had some one-off releases on different labels like Wand and Liberty and United Artists. And this label, Columbia Records, now this is the B-side to his Columbia release, a tune arranged by Robert Banks, produced by Richard Gotterer of that, what is that trio of writers there? He was one of them. Johnny G drawing a blank. It's that talk about the shaving that got to me. But Richard Gotterer and Seymour Stein for Sire Productions. This is from July 67. Give a listen to D. Clark. D. Clark on Columbia Records. It's called In These Very Tender Moments.
tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Please don't tell me it's all in the past. Will there be sparkles in your eyes? Will the rose grow in your cheeks, baby? Will there still be lovely music each time we speak? In these very tender moments, baby, tell me now. Tomorrow shouldn't cross your mind. Yes. Whisper to me, baby. Hey, got me going, baby.
That's one you don't often hear by D. Clark. That one there on the Columbia record label, July 67, In These Very Tender Moments. Something you tell your sweetheart. That one there on the Columbia record label. Let's go back to Philadelphia now with these young gals. They first sang in church as the Little Cooperettes. They were managed by their mother, Ethel Cooper. She was also able to get them a contract with Brunswick Records, and the group consisted of Angie, Debbie, Jeanette, and Tina Cooper. Collectively, they were known as the Cooperettes. They would have 3 releases on the Brunswick label. This is their first from June of 1966. Let's give a listen to the Cooperettes. Cooperettes on Brunswick label. It's called Goodbye School.
School is out, goodbye school. We can really shout, goodbye school. Go around folks, goodbye school. Forget the teacher's bad looks, goodbye school. No more history tests, goodbye school. Let geometry rest, goodbye school. A new day's dawning, having a ball. Sleeping late in the morning, having a ball. We're gonna dance and play, having a ball. On the beach all day, having a ball. We're gonna jerk Y2C, still in fish in our bathing suits. We are real fun dish in a Boston monkey. My stove is just beginning to know what real fun is. A new day's dawning, having a ball. Sleeping late in the morning, having a ball. We're gonna dance and play, having a ball. On the beach all day, having a ball. School is out, goodbye school. We can really shout, goodbye school. Go around folks, goodbye school. Forget the teacher's bad looks, goodbye school. No more history tests, goodbye school. Let geometry rest.
That's the debut single for the Cooperettes, their first of 3 on the Brunswick record label. Kind of like a Motown kind of beat there a little bit. June 1966. The Cooperettes called Goodbye School, and they would have 2 more releases on the ABC record label and also 1 more on IDB Records in 1969. You don't want to, sometimes later on you're going to wish you were back in school. I know I do. I hated it, though, at one start, especially my high school years. Wasn't really the greatest time, but I learned a lot. I had definitely it's funny because I never really was able to get algebra in the 8th grade, though I did. It was interesting because it was just like I finally got it. I finally saw how to solve those problems. It was pretty cool to do that. Same thing when I went to college and I took a finance course. I hated it. I'm like, these graphs and these things, and then all of a sudden it just came to me. It's like a revelation almost. Hopefully Johnny G giving you a revelation with these 1960s 45s. Let's continue here. For this singer out of Buffalo, New York, first recording for the Imperial label back in 1963, and then other labels like Phillips and Riverside and Popside, but he did 2 on the Verve label. This is his second release, and it's a cover tune. This song was first done by the Drifters in May of 1961 on the Atlantic record label. And let's give a listen to this rendition from December of 68, produced by Robert Bateman. This singer was the singer, he also arranged and conducted this, and this did not chart, but it was pushed on WWRL out of New York City because it was in the up and coming hits, but it never really got to a number. It's December 68, Lou Courtney on the Verve label, his rendition of the tune Please Stay.
If I fell on my knees and I pleaded with you not to go but to stay in my arms, would you walk out the door like you did once before? Would this time be different? Would you stay? Like a prayer in the night, would you leave me alone with my tears, knowing I love you so? Would you still turn and go? Would this time be different? Would you stay? When you taught me how to love you like this, now I hang my head in the canyon of doom, but I still can be saved by your kiss. If I fell on my knees and I pleaded with you not to go but to stay in my arms, would you walk out the door like you did once before? Oh, baby, baby, oh, would this time be different? Would you stay? Ooh, baby, stay here with me, please. Don't you know I need your loving, little girl? And I want you to stay here with me.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. That's Lou Courtney's version of The Drifters' Please Stay, December 1968. Came out on the Verve record label. That is his second release, second of two on the Verve label. And here's another 45 that was hitbound, or it was hitbound on WWRL out of New York City. But I'm playing the B side of the 45. Maybe I'll flip it over. You can hear the side that they push, but I like the B side. The A side was called I Want What I Want. Yes, but this is, we're going to flip it over here. It's on the Valise, I think that's, Valise Records out of New York City, but it's a B side. It's written and produced and arranged by one guy, Phil Medley. It's from January 69. Let's give a listen to the Soul Tones. The Soul Tones on the Valise label. It's called You and Me, Baby.
What they say, no, and I don't give a doggone how much you play, no, let them talk, let them see, let them shout, they don't know what it's all about, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, got an understanding. I just laugh when they come, yeah, 'cause I know how to gossip, make a big man small, yeah, let the food get down to the floor, if they won't, let them trust in this storm, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, got an understanding. Oh, yeah, love is demanding, yeah. I trust you, and you trust me, and that's our understanding, yeah. I don't care what they say, no, and I don't give a doggone how much you pay, no. Let me talk, let them see, let them shout, and I know what it's all about. You and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, yeah, you and me, baby, you and me, baby, you and me, baby, you and me, baby, you and me, baby,
That's the sound of the Soul Tones there from January 1969. It's on the Valise Records, You and Me, Baby. That is the intended B-side of the 45. We continue here. Been playing a lot of Motown 45s out of the Johnny G collection. So we go back to Detroit now with this gal. She won a local talent contest and a recording contract with Motown Records. She was 13 years old when she won that contest, and she recorded her first release on Motown Records. It was called Forget About Me, but this is the B-side to her third, a tune written by Smokey Robinson. It's from November of 1964. Let's give a listen to Carolyn Crawford. Great two-sided 45. This is the B-side. Carolyn Crawford on Motown Records. It's called My Heart.
Must be connected to my heart. I found out when you said we had to part. At first I couldn't believe that I had heard it. How could you have makes your mouth too wordy. I thought that you had come so you could hold me. I just couldn't believe that you had told me we must part. Oh my baby, I heard it with my ears, but a pain ran through my heart. Oh yeah, my heart must be connected to my eyes, something I had never realized until I saw you walking out of my door, saying that I'd never see you anymore. At first I couldn't believe what I was seeing. You don't know the shape that you left me in when we had to part. Oh my baby, I saw you with my eyes, but a pain ran through my heart. Oh yeah. My lips can only miss the way we used to kiss. My eyes can only let the tears rain. My ears can hear the news of the new love you may choose, but my poor heart, it has to stand the pain. My eyes must be connected to my heart, 'cause ever since the day we had to part, baby, I don't think I ever told you, but my arms are aching just to hold you. At first I couldn't believe my arms had freed you. Come on back to me because I need you to make a new start, baby. Let my eyes look your way. One more time. Let my ears hear you say you'll be mine. Let my arms wrap around you and hold you close to my heart. Oh yeah, to my heart.
Sound of Motown here on the All 60s edition. Robert Neal, I just saw your email. You like the Clarence Carter version of that tune, The Feeling Is Right. Yes, I did. But anyway, that's Carolyn Crawford there. November 1964, her third release on the Motown label. That's the B-side. It's called My Heart. Now, she would record in 1972 on the M. Pingo label as a member of Hodges, James, Smith, and Crawford. Then she had solo releases in 1974 on Philadelphia International. I think on another label too, if I'm not mistaken, in the 1970s. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. It's my All 60s edition. If you're new to the program, you like what you see. I'm not shaving my legs, though. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to get notifications. Also, please give me a thumbs up if you dig what you're hearing. Let's continue here. Now, on last week's 60s show, I featured this artist from Philadelphia, PA. James Herbert McClellan was his real name, but he recorded as Jesse James. Started back in 1961. I featured the B-side to his third release for 20th Century Fox Records. It was called If You're Lonely, Take My Hand. Now here's the A-side to his second release. It's a song he wrote. It was a pick hit on KOKA in Shreveport, Louisiana from November of 1967. I was going to say 57. 67. Let's give a listen to Jesse James. Jesse James on 20th Century Fox. The song is called Thank You, Darling.
Thank you, baby, yeah. Thanks for forgiving me when I done you wrong, yeah. Thanks for taking care of my children, oh yeah. Listen to me now, baby, when I turned away from you, oh yeah. Thanks for sticking by me, yeah. Though you tried to please my every need, oh no, you just couldn't rely on me. And I wanna thank you for understanding, loving me on through bitterness, never demanding. Oh
yeah. I've been a wrongdoer, yes I have. Such a wrongdoer, and I know it. Let me try to make amends, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I wanna thank you, yeah, for giving me another chance, yeah. I say thank you, darling. Thank you, my sweet darling, yeah. When I turned away from you, baby, oh yeah. Thanks for sticking by me now. Though you tried to please my every need. Oh no, you just couldn't rely on me. And I wanna thank you for understanding. Loving me all through bitterness, never demanding. Ah yeah, I've been a wrongdoer. You know I have. Such a wrongdoer, and I know it. Let me try to make amends. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I wanna thank you, girl, for giving me another chance. Yeah. I said thank you, darling. Oh yeah, thanks for sticking by me, baby, through my trials and tribulation. I wanna thank you, sweet baby. Yeah, I know I have a good woman, and I appreciate you, baby. Yeah, listen to me, baby. You've been so good. I wanna thank you. Oh Lord, thanks for believing me. Yeah, oh baby, thank you, baby, for forgiving me my wrongs. Thank you, baby. Yeah, I know I made a mistake, but please, baby, I wanna thank you, darling. Listen to me now, baby.
November 1967 release there for Jesse James, not to be confused with the Jesse James that recorded for the Filet of Soul label. This is a different Jesse James, though, out of Philadelphia, though. Thank You, Darling is the name of the tune on 20th Century Fox Records, a song that he co-wrote there. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, here's a request for listener Kimba in our YouTube chat room. She requested this artist, this gal. She was the second white female to be signed to Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown empire. Now, do you know the first white gal to record for Motown Records? Her name was Debbie Dean, but this is the second. She was 17 years old, and she was a 6-foot platinum blonde. That's how I like them, 6 foot. I like the taller girls. Barbara's only 5'2", too short. That's what I told her. But you know what? I forgave her. She had no control over her height. But I think I'm 6'1", so a 6-foot girl. Well, you got to be careful, because if she has high heels on, she's going to be taller than you. Right, Dave the Rave? But she was a 6-foot platinum blonde. She was from Santa Cruz, California. This is her second of 3 on the Motown subsidiary VIP Records. This is a request for Kimba in our YouTube chat room, and this bubbled under at number 105 on the Billboard Hot 100. Number 41 on the R&B charts, was a big number 8 record on WJHO in Opelika, Alabama, written and produced by Holland Dozier Holland. We go to July of 1966 for Miss Chris Clark. Chris Clark on the VIP record label for Kimba. It's called Love's Gone Bad.
I feel a pounding in my brain, ice cold water running through my veins. Got a bad taste in my mouth from bitter tears, heart beating sad 'cause love's gone bad. I see a rainbow, all in black, must be a sign you ain't coming back. Wake up at night, calling your name, I see a face on my window pane. I've been this way since you've been gone.
as by request for Kimba in our YouTube chat room. At least she was in the YouTube chat room. July 1966, Miss Chris Clark, her second of 3 on the VIP label. Love's Gone Bad is the name of the tune. Hopefully, well, I don't want to go into that, but how about a twin spin on Miss Chris Clark? This is my favorite tune by Chris Clark. You can see her, I think the clip is still up. She was lip syncing this on Dick Clark's Where the Action Is. I'm pretty sure she's standing on a rooftop. Imagine this 6-foot platinum blonde standing on a rooftop singing this tune. This is December 1965. This is her first of 3 on the VIP record label. A tune written by Berry Gordy Jr. This is my favorite tune by Chris Clark. It's called Don't Be Too Long.
If you wanna go away, well, I'm gonna let you go. You say you're coming back, this I know. But baby, don't be too long, no, no. Don't be too long, no, no. Don't be too long away from me. Come back to me when you're through. But baby, don't be too long. I'm begging, don't be too long. I'm praying, don't be too long away from me. I don't mind waiting, no, no, as long as I'm waiting for you, boy. And I'll be honest, but you got to promise that you won't, I know that you won't find somebody new. I trust you, baby. Go on and do whatever you have to do. Just come back to me when you're through. But baby, don't be too long. I'm begging, don't be too long. I'm praying, don't be too long away from me. Away from me. Away from me. No, don't be too long. Hey, don't be too long. Oh, don't be too long. No, don't be too long.
That's the sound of Chris Clark there on the VIP record label. That's my favorite song by her. Adrian likes that tune by Chris Clark from December 1965, her first of 3 on VIP. It's called Don't Be Too Long. Barbara used to say that to me, but not anymore. Not after all these years. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show for this next singer, born Ronald Bertram Greaves. Now, he would have a big hit in 1969 on the Atco label. Are any of you familiar with a song called Take a Letter, Maria, as done by R.B. Greaves? But prior to that, he recorded as Sonny Child. What a name. Sonny Child. I think he's originally out of Guyana, and had his singles first came out, I think, in the UK, then here in the United States. Now, he was, I mentioned that he was from Guyana originally, but here in the States, he had 2 releases on the Music Factory record label as Sonny Child. Now, this is the B-side to his first, a tune written by Chester Pipkin, Gary Pipkin, and Bryce Cofield. Interesting, because they were members of the West Coast 50s group The Valiants. So this is from March of 1968. Sonny Child, Childe, a.k.a. R.B. Greaves. This is on the Music Factory record label. The song is called Love is in the Air, parentheses, and it is catching. There you go.
Love is in the air, and I do believe that it is catching. I said that love is in the air, and I do believe that it is catching. Every time that you walk by, I start to feel that same reaction. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know much about the weather, but if I were an expert, I'd measure the air pollution, and I'd have to call a love alert. Love is in the air, and I don't believe that it is catching. Feel it too, and the only cure I know is getting together with you. So won't you give it to me? Give it to me. Don't take too long. Don't take too long. My mind can't stand it. My heart it ain't strong. You can try to run from it. There's no place you can go. You can try to hide from it. There's no escape, I know. Love is in the air, and I don't believe that it is catching. Love is in the air, and I don't believe that it is catching. Love is in the air, my darling. I said you know that the love that I have.
That's R.B. Greaves there, singing as Sonny Child. That's when March 68 release. That, what I say, that is the B-side to his first of two on the Music Factory record label. Love is in the Air, parentheses, and it is catching. That's on Styrene. I hate Styrene records that play with that kind of crackle there. Unfortunately, can't do anything about that. Once they are damaged, they are permanently damaged, unfortunately. So dare I go to another Styrene 45 as we go to Buddy Killen's Dial Records out of Nashville, Tennessee. Charlene couldn't find any info on this artist, but this gal wrote the tune, and Buddy Killen, the label owner, he produced it. It's from June of 1966. Another made-up name, I would guess, is she's called Cherry Stone. Cherry Stone on the Dial label. It's called He Walks Softly.
He's sweet and gentle and so very shy, but when he holds me in his arms, my oh my, I fell for him like a ton of bricks. Ooh, he walks softly, carries a great big stick, oh yeah, carries a great big stick, oh yeah. kissed his lips and held him in your arms. Listen, girl, you've never been loved at all. Like I said before, oh yeah, and I'll say it again. He's not much to look at, but he's my man. Don't you know I'm proud just to be his chick? Ooh, he walks softly, he walks softly, carries a great big stick, oh yeah, carries a great big stick, oh yeah. He walks softly, carries a great big stick. He walks softly, carries a great big stick.
It'd be interesting if I could see what Jerry Stone looked like. That song, the lyrics makes Johnny G's mind wander there. Very interesting lyrics from June 1966. Her name is Cherry Stone. It's on the Dial record label. He Walks Softly is an. I tell you, I collect the Dial label. That was a missing number. I don't think that's a common record. I can tell you that much. Unfortunately, like I said, it's on styrene. I hate styrene 45's. I better not get a copyright on that. It's telling me I got a copyright warning. I don't know. It started with the Chris Clark record, but let's continue here. And here's a flip side from last week. I featured this group out of Harlem, New York. They recorded for the Uptight record label, played the B-side to their second release on Uptight. It was called Piece by Piece. But this was the intended A-side. This was another song that was pushed on WWRL here in New York City. This was a number 15 song on WAME in Miami, Florida. It features Russell Marbury on lead. He also co-wrote the tune. This is from February 69. They're called the 125th Street Candy Store. Uptight Records. It's called Loving You Baby is So Very Hard to Do.
Just to love you, yes I would. My heart is crying out in pain, pain, girl. A month ago our love was sizzling, frying, but now today I feel it's dying. Loving you, baby, is so very hard to do. Loving you, baby, is so very hard to do. Loving you, baby, is so very hard to do. My mind, 'cause of you I left the good life behind. Now it should be plain to see all the trouble that you're causing me, all the trouble that you're causing me. Love you, baby, it's so very hard to do. You took all my money, honey, and you ran around the town. Oh yeah, you tried. You tried to put me down, yeah, baby. Yes, I got to find a clue to change our love from old to new. Loving you, baby, is so very hard to do. Loving you, baby, is so very hard to do. Baby, 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 darling, darling, I'm just a stranger. I want you to come into my life. Baby, baby, loving you is so very hard to do. Yeah,
February 69 release there for 125th Street Candy Store. It's on the Uptight record label. That's the A-side to their second release on Uptight Records. Loving You, Baby is so very hard to do. Yes, it is. Or it can be. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, hope you're digging on the tune here. Tell your friends about it. We got to get up to 1,000 subscribers. Then Johnny G will be bringing in the specials here. Let's continue for this another flip side from last week. This singer, originally from Norfolk, Virginia, but he was raised in New York City, had a big hit in 1970. Maybe you bought the 45 like I did. Came out on ABC Records. It was called Hey There, Lonely Girl. But I featured the B-side to his second of six on Parkway. The northern side was called Eddie's My Name, but this is the A side. It bubbled under on the Billboard charts at number 104. It was a number 13 record on KDIA in Oakland, California. It's a tune he co-wrote from April 1966. Let's give a listen to Eddie Holman. Eddie Holman on Parkway Records. It's called Don't Stop Now.
What dream was I dreaming, darling, when I found you? A dream that wouldn't let me see that you can't be true. Your hold on me is wrong, 'cause tomorrow you'll be gone. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me. You got me where you want me, girl. Just promise me, girl, you won't leave me alone to cry. And I try hard to believe all your lies. Your hold on me is wrong, 'cause tomorrow you'll be gone. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me, girl. Just hold me a little longer. Just hold me a little longer. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me now. Just hold me a little longer, and I know our love will grow a little stronger. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me. Don't stop now, you got me where you want me, girl.
That's the second of six for Eddie Holman. Eddie Holman on the Parkway label. From April 1966, Don't Stop Now is the name of that one. Johnny G's going to be stopping at midnight tonight as I am beat. I didn't have a good day today. Have to say that, and I'm not feeling the greatest either. I really I have to find a new primary care physician, as I had my primary care physician for all these years. He decides to go into focus on his pulmonary business and says, "Oh, you got to find a new doctor." not that easy when I don't recognize any of the names, nor do I want to go see them. They're not they're not local. So that's out. So I got to search for another one. I'll ask around. But let's continue here for this. Go back up to Chicago, Illinois for this singer. His name is Lee Charles Neely, but he recorded as Lee Charles. He dropped his last name. And this is his first release on the Descartes record label. Was this his debut single, Charlene? I'm not sure. But was produced by Gerald Sims, arranged by Johnny Richardson. It's from April of '67. Let's give a listen to Lee Charles on Descartes Records. It's called Then Would You Love Me?
If I pour out my heart to you and I surrender all, and if I came running, baby, running every time you call, if whatever you wanted I gave and work for you just like a slave, then would you love me? I wanna know, then would you love me? It's all gone. Time is drawing nigh. I have a feeling I'm gonna lose you, baby. You gonna pass me by. And if I did everything I could, everything that a lover should, then would you love me? I wanna know, then would you love me? And if I swallow all my pride, would this make you satisfied? And if I made a solemn pledge, I even got on my knees in bed, then would you love me? I wanna know, then would you love me? If I poured out my heart to you, and I surrender all, and if I keep running, baby, every time you go, would you love me? I wanna know, would you love me? I wanna know, would you love me?
His name is Lee Charles. Lee Charles from April 1967. That's on the Descartes record label. It's called Then Would You Love Me? Did I say that? Yeah, Then Would You Love Me is the name of the tune. And he has other releases on the Review label, Brunswick, Bamboo Records, Wand, and the Hot Wax label. I have almost 45's on those labels there, but into the 1970s. Let's continue here. Here's a flip side from last week as we go back to Detroit, going to Chicago, Detroit, back to Detroit for this singer. Her name was Clara Hardy, and I played her debut single on the Jackpot record label. It was called You're Too Jealous. You're Too Jealous is the name of the tune. Let's flip it over here. Give a listen to the flip side. It was written by Ronald Davis, 1963. Her name is Clara Hardy on Jackpot Records. It's called The Touch of Love.
You see him and meet him, then somehow you feel you need him. Yes, you feel the touch of love. He kisses you, it thrills you, and somehow you're walking near you. Yes, you feel the touch of love. Well, you feel the touch that makes your whole heart sing. You feel the touch that makes the icy winter a warm like spring. You feel it, but
you can't conceal it. You, yes, you feel the touch of love. Wow, you feel the touch that makes a baby cry. You feel the touch that makes your heart go rock-a-bye. You feel it, you feel it, but somehow you can't conceal it. You, yes, you feel the touch of love. The touch. Woo! The touch of love. The touch of love. The touch. Well, you feel the touch that makes your whole heart sing, and you feel the touch that makes the icy winter a warm like spring. You feel it, but somehow you can't conceal it. You, yes, you feel the touch of love. You feel the touch of love. I want you feel the touch of
We'll send that one out to Adrian Viterbo. He is in our YouTube chat room. He likes that tune. He's listening over in Mexico there. That's Clara Hardy. Clara Hardy from 1963 on the Jackpot record label. It's called The Touch of Love. Not an easy record to find, by the way, out of Detroit, Michigan. Let's continue here for this next artist. First recorded in a duo of Tony and Jeff back in 1963 on the Ding Dong record label. This was his next release, a solo release, probably, 1964 maybe, and I don't know anything else about this record. It's on the Chubby label. That's what Johnny G is, Chubby. The Chubby label. It's produced by Bobby Adams. His name is Tony Baxter. I wonder if he's related to Tony Basil. No, Tony Baxter. Tony Baxter on the Chubby label from probably 1964, 1965. It's called I'll Come to You.
If the one you love doesn't treat you right and leaves you all alone every night, if you feel there's no one you can turn to, just pick up your phone, girl, and I'll come to you.
Oh yes, I will.
If you feel like you wanna make a change, then darling, you know my number and my name. I can mend your broken heart just like new. Just dial my number and I'll come to you.
Oh yes, I will.
I'll be waiting, the telephone by my side.
Oh yes, I will.
Darling, please follow your heart and not your pride. No, you don't really have to be alone. You'll find that I'm just as near as your telephone. I can change your night from being blue. Oh yes, I can.
Just pick up your phone and I'll come to you. I'll come to you early in the morning. Anytime you need me, baby, I'll come to you.
His name is Tony Baxter. Tony Baxter there from, 1963, 64. I'm guessing it's on the Chubby record label. What label would be called Chubby? That one there called I'll Come to You. Johnny G coming to you every Wednesday night from 9 to midnight right here on Oldies and More Radio. Also live on the YouTube stream. You can go back, and if you missed any of the show, you can go back and check it out, as many do. Lots of people over in the UK tuned in. Maybe there's some are tuned in now in the early AM hours there. But let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures for this group. They are out of Cleveland, Ohio, and this is on Lester Johnson and Bill Branch's Way Out record label, also out of Cleveland, Ohio. I said that wrong. Charlene has it differently. The group recorded in Cleveland, Ohio on Lester Johnson and Bill Branch's Way Out label, which was also out of Cleveland, Ohio. But the group, they're actually from Albion. Is that it? Albion, Michigan? Is there an Albion, Michigan? Where is Zenith when you need him? And they did 6 releases on the Way Out record label. This is their first. It was co-written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Johnny Washington. This is from January of 1967. They're called The Sensations. The Sensations on Way Out Records. It's called I Won't Be Hurt.
And hope that one day they may come through. But you want to hurt me. Girl, you don't deserve me. It would give you a thrill if I'd only feel so bad. Although you wanna dog me around, my head is never hanging down. And in my heart I get concealed some just feeling that I feel, oh, that I feel. It's no thrill what I feel. You're no good just playing around. That's me, cool cat in town. But you never hurt me. Girl, you don't deserve me. It would give you a thrill. It would give you a thrill if I'd only feel so bad. I'll never feel bad. You can't make me sad. Mama told me you were no good. You're no good, you're bad. You're no good.
That's the debut single for The Sensations. That one there on the Way Out record label from January 67. It's called I Won't Be Heard, featuring Johnny Washington on lead there. Let's continue here as we wind down here on the All 60s edition. We go back to Philadelphia here. Last week I featured the A-side of this debut single by this girl group called the Stylettes. It first came out on Gene Arnold's Sandy record label in 1964. I have it on the Sandy label. It would then be picked up by Cameo Records in September. It's the first of 2 on Cameo. This side also written by Eugene Dozier, but I played On Fire last week. That was the A side. We're going to flip it over here, give a listen to the B side. It features Barbara Mercer on lead. This is from September 64. These are the Stylettes on the Cameo label. It's called Packing Up My Memories. This is on the Cameo label.
Valley will fall. So why don't you go on home and let me cry alone? 'Cause I'm packing up my memories. Packing up, I'm packing them up, yes. Locking them up in my heart.
We'll send that one out to Adrian Viterbo in our YouTube chat room. He likes that tune there by the Stylettes. The Stylettes, September 1964, the B-side to their debut single, On Fire. It's called Packing Up My Memories. First released on the Sandy label. You can also get it on the Cameo record label. Adrian, if you like the girl group sound, you got to listen to Johnny G's Girl Group Special. I did it a long time ago. It's got over 1,000 views. If you search for it in the YouTube bar, you'd have to look. It's Johnny G's Vinyltreasure Show Girl Group Special. It's one of my bigger shows that I played all types of girl group sounds from the 50s into the later 60s. So if you like girl groups, check that one out. Somebody wants me to do another girl group special, and then I got other guys like the old time collectors. They really don't care about that much about the girl group sound. So to each his own, but I do like the girl group sound. I did a special on it, so check it out there. We continue here. We start to wind down here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Up next, a singer born Oscar James Gibson, originally from Youngstown, Ohio. Beginning in his teens, he was a female impersonator, and he was singing and performing in drag. That's what he used to do in the beginning. I think he did it throughout his career, though. But he relocated to New Orleans, Louisiana, where Aladdin label owner Eddie Mesner saw him perform in one of those smoky clubs, and Eddie signed him to his Aladdin record label and had his first single back in 1953. It was called Have Mercy. Another one followed on the Dot label. They spelled his name wrong, so a lot of people might not know that. 1954 has one on Dot. That's a rare 45. Other releases came out on Ace and Gale labels in the late 1950s. Then in 1960, he would have his biggest hit. His biggest hit was on the Fire label. It was a cover of the Big J McNeely tune, There's Something on Your Mind. But he continued to record into the 1960s with releases on Volt, Cameo, and this label, Buddy Killen's Dial record label. This is his fourth of 5 on the Dial label, written by Moses Dillard and Jesse Boyce. It's from October 1965. Give a listen to Bobby Marchan. Bobby Marchan on the Dial label. It's called I Feel It Coming.
Feel it coming. I'm talking about my breaking heart. I feel it coming, and I know it won't be long before we have to part. Oh, baby, I feel it coming. What can I do? I'm so in love with you, girl, and I feel it coming. After all our long, happy years, and I know it's coming, and it won't be long before I have to shed a tear for you. I feel it coming. I've been loving you too long. I don't wanna stop now, baby.
place. And it's not in the look that's on your face, but the kind of love I feel it you display. Oh, your kisses, girl, they're not the same anymore. And oh, and you're forever calling out his name. Oh, I feel that, darling. I've been loving you too long. Deep in my heart, I feel it. When he's in your arms, I feel it. The feeling is so real, and I feel
October 66 release there for Bobby Marchan. Bobby Marchan is 4th of 5 on the Dial label. I Feel It Coming. The only other person I know that has that 45 is Dave the Rave. He has it. I picked this up for like nothing, but I think it's a rare 45 to find that 45 by Bobby Marchan. Anyway, let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Up next, a brother and sister duo out of Los Angeles, California, who later went on to become producers and songwriters for Barry White on his Unlimited Gold label, but they also had their own releases. This was their debut single on the Reprise record label. They are Jimmy and Vella Cameron, and this is the A-side of their debut single from June of 1966. It's called Lovin' You Is Such a Groove. Wait, don't fall off there. There you go.
Darling, baby, know it's understood. The way you move, you make me feel so good. Dancing with you excites me so. Shaking
That's brother and sister act there, Jimmy and Vella Cameron, June 1966. It's on the Reprise record label. Lovin' You is such a groove. Hope you're grooving on these cool 45, 60s records out of Johnny G's collection. 2 more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. I'm going to predict that Adrian will like this next song. That is my prediction. Let's see what he says for this group out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This first came out on Odell Bailey's Victan label, which was a local label out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was then issued or second pressed on the Travis label, which is also out of Pittsburgh, and it's a cover song. This tune was first recorded by Jay Wiggins back in 1963 on IPG Records, but this group features Curtis Davis on lead. It's from 1965. They're known as Curtis and the Showstoppers. Curtis and the Showstoppers. This is I have it on the Travis label, and I'm guessing that Adrian's gonna like this tune. Let's give a listen to Curtis and the Showstoppers and their rendition of the Jay Wiggins tune, "Sad Girl."
Make a brand new start. Please don't you cry. Just go out and find yourself another guy. Whoa, girl, you just hold your head high. Things are gonna change, I know, as time goes by, because that's the way love goes. Why don't you wanna know that everybody's somebody's fool, and you're no exception to the rule? Believe me, I love you too. You just don't understand. I wanna hold on to your hand. I want you. Bring that love to me. I'm hold on to you, baby.
There you go. That is that's Curtis. That's Curtis and the Showstoppers. Their 1965 release. I have it on the Travis record label. Their rendition of the Jay Wiggins tune, "Sad Girl," and lead on there is Curtis Davis. They also have a couple other releases, one on the Bevmar label and also on the Ronnie label. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. Excuse me, want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 45s as I sit on the floor on this crappy chair here. I'm telling you, I can't wait. I don't even know if I can do any of my work tomorrow sitting in this chair, but that's going to do it for tonight. If you missed any of the program, you can go to my YouTube website. It'll be up momentarily right after I shut down, but you won't have the chat available. It takes a day or two. They've been doing it pretty quickly, though. I'm really surprised YouTube has been doing the the chat, making it available quickly, but hopefully I didn't get any records that I'd have to pull off, because then I lose the chat, and that's not too good. A lot of people like to see what the chatters say in the chat room. They just like to read it, I guess. I don't know. But also you can go to vinyltreasures.net. You can stream or download the show off my website. I have a link where you can go and you can just download those MP3 files. It's there. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, and hope you enjoyed the tunes tonight, and sorry for the mess-ups, but Johnny G's just an amateur. I'm not a professional disc jockey by any means. It's a labor of love that I do here on Wednesday nights and also on Saturday nights. We're here on Oldies and More Radio from 9 to midnight, and also we join Oldies and More Radio at midnight on Saturday nights, but I'm on usually till about 1 a.m. So there's a whole hour, if not more. So this is the only time I get to hear my records. This is the only time I get to hear my 60s records. But we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's very important that you tell your friends about it. So we do that. It is important. So Johnny G's going to get a new chair. I'll be higher up in the saddle for hopefully next time you see me here on the Wednesday night show. But anyway, we're going to close the show tonight. Who said it was Record Hound. Record Hound recognized this next song. It's really not, I wouldn't call it well, yes, it is sort of a novelty tune, but it's actually what it's called a cut-in or a novelty break-in. It was originally, those records were originally originated by Buchanan and Goodman back in 1956 with the Flying Saucer records. They would take excerpts of I guess we can call them hits, because I was really looking for the ones where they really weren't big hits. Although this is an interesting one, because if you like Motown records, I featured a lot of Motown tonight. This is like all cuts from Motown records. I'm sure you'll know them all. I think you will, because they're not going to put some obscure thing on Motown. It would be interesting if they did. But this one came out in July of 1969, and it's by Captain Zapp and the Motown Cut-Ups. So I don't know who that is, but it's called The Looney Landing. So it should be interesting, because there are hits in this song, and I wonder how many well, it's only for a few seconds, so they really can't penalize. They won't penalize you for that. Isn't there when they use seconds of a song you don't have to pay the royalties on? So I think this probably works, and this is how I can play some hits here on the program. So our closer tonight is by Captain Zapp and the Motown Cut-Ups from July of '69. It's called The Looney Landing, and that's what Johnny G was tonight, a Looney Tune landing. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Charlene, for your help again, and I'll see you next Wednesday night right here on Oldies and More Radio and YouTube, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to midnight. I'll see some of yous on Saturday nights. Big show on Saturday night with all your requests. So if you like 50s and early 60s, group harmony and doo-wop, you want to tune into that show. That's it, folks. I'm out of here. Got the VA hospital nurses coming here tomorrow. John G's got to look good for those nurses. But anyway, thank you all. Everybody have a safe remainder of the week. I'll see you next time right here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
Ladies and gentlemen, America's first lunar landing is about to take place. Captain Zapp and fellow astronaut Flash Flush are on their way to the moon. I believe he's trying to make contact with us.
Mission Control, this is Flash Flush. Captain Zapp requests to return to Earth.
Roger. Did I hear right, Captain? What seems to be the trouble?
Getting kinda hungry, but you forgot to bring something to eat.
Captain Zapp, some more questions. I hope you don't mind. It's possible you'll find life on the moon. What would you say to the moon people?
What does it take to win your love for me?
And if they're hostile?
Come on, Pete. Start moving.
Suppose you're captured. What will you offer in exchange for freedom?
Captain Zapp, Captain, we're getting close to the moon. Slow down or we'll crash. Captain, why don't you respond?
Don't you know I'm busy thinking about my baby?
Captain, I think one of the hubcaps came off. Captain Zapp, it's a miracle we're still alive, but the ship is destroyed. How will we get back to Earth?
This is Space Control. You are instructed to return to Earth at once.
But Captain, what will we do for a spaceship? But all our navigation equipment was destroyed in the crash. How will we find our way?
Ladies and gentlemen, history has just been made. America has put the first man on the moon.
Oh boy! But what is the Russian reaction to our victory?
Here is the formal statement made by the Russian leaders.